Sports family, welcome to tonight's first episode of the show live. This podcast is dedicated to showcasing high school student athletes and their journeys. The goal is to give exposure to as many as possible across the state of Louisiana and southern states thereabout. If Off the Bench Sports has not been to your high school yet, don't worry, we're coming, as it is our goal to give coverage to as many as you as we possibly can. We hope that you welcome us with open arms into your schools and southern states. It's my pleasure to meet every student athlete that I can, their parents, their families, their coaches, their students that attend school with them. It's my joy to meet all of you guys, and I don't take that lightly. Join me in sharing and fulfilling the dreams of these student athletes as they attempt to live their dreams by making it to the next level. The only way that we can do that is by giving them the exposure and coverage that they need and being one. Also, I'd like to ask that you guys please help keep independent media independent. I'm glad you asked how you do that. You can do that by being a weekly sponsor, advertise with Off the Bench Sports, or make donations. You can make donations through Cash App, it's the $ Off the Bench Sports. PayPal is at Off the Bench Sport, no S, at gmail.com, or you can make your check payable to Off the Bench Sports. I'd also like to ask that you guys please share this podcast. Like this podcast. Tell your friends about this podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook so that we can keep this going and grow it even bigger and better. So, for some of you guys that don't know me, I'd like to give you guys a little background about me. I'm just a plain and simple guy from Monroe, Louisiana. I've been blessed to enjoy being a part of youth athletics for the last 20 plus years. I've been, first and foremost, I'm a basketball official at heart. That's what I did for 17 years in the state of Texas and in the state of Louisiana. So when you guys see me and I'm going irate because maybe in my mind a basketball official screwed it up, it's because I'm a basketball official at heart. I own my own AU program for several years, the Ascension Tar Heels, as a referee. So when I was teaching my kids plays and teaching them the game of basketball, they got it from the eyes of a basketball official. And that is pretty much how I was able to get kids to compete that were underclassed as far as skill set and help them grow and develop themselves as a game. Athletics have been a great part of my life. Athletics helped save my life coming from Monroe, Louisiana, growing up in the 70s and 80s. It wasn't a lot to do there. Thank the Lord we had the Tri-District Boys Club, Marbles Recreation Center on Renwick Street, across from 3929. Anybody who's ever been to Monroe, you know what 3929 represents. And so, also we had Powell Street Recreation Center in Monroe, Louisiana. Really cool. Got to learn a lot of life lessons from the men that were there giving of their time, and it seems like nothing when you're growing up, because as a kid you're not supposed to know about adult things, but when you become an adult and you give of your time, that takes away from, if you have a wife and you have kids that you love and you pour into, and then you have to take that time and give it to other kids, then that means a lot. Again, you don't understand that as a kid, but as an adult, thank you, Deuce, God rest your soul. Thank you, Coach Huey, Pirate. Thank you, Mr. Irvin Peter Turner. God rest your soul. And thank you to everybody else that played a part into pouring into me athletically. I went to Washington High School, played football there. I want to say thank you to my coach, Mike Gallery, Scott Stone, Mike Collins, Coach Mahoney, all of you guys, all that you poured into me, it never left me. It means a lot to me still to this day, and I'm grateful that I'm able to be here and be a part of this. So that's where we're at with it. Hey, how's everybody doing? Almost just had a moment here, man. You know, again, until you pour your heart into something, nobody understands what that means. I've been nervous and sweating like a fool all day. I'm sweating now. I can't stop, so I'm rambling. But we're gonna get started. Our first guest started a late practice, so he hasn't made it yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rearrange the format. And our first guest for tonight's show is going to be Todd Black with Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN. Did I get that right? Yeah, you get it. You get it. Todd Black, man, welcome. Thank you, man, for joining us tonight on our first podcast. Really excited, really humbled that, a guy like you who has his own show that's broadcast to millions. Yeah, millions, right? Again, you go to millions, man.
It's fun to be here because, right?
Yeah, I think
it's fun to be here because, a lot of things we have in common. You talk about Washington, Monroe. I remember Stop and Go on the river.
Yeah.
165. And when I went to Carroll, my boys used to bring me candy. They'd slide across the floor. Of course, I'd get in trouble for them.
Right.
But Coach Valery's in Washington. He was a great influence. He coached me my JV year at Neville and was one of the better coaches, or best coach I've ever had, just because he related. And I had some good coaches, Coach Brown and all that. But it's the impact they made on you that you carried on into your adult years away from the game that meant so much.
Right. Oh, another thing, guys. Todd and I, both are from Monroe. When we met, I didn't know that, I had heard about him and everything. I didn't know that we had that connection. And, again, both of us playing for Coach Val, who's probably one of the nicest, meanest people you will ever meet in life. He cared about you as a person, like Todd said. And so I carried that along with me and tried to instill it in my kids. So it's a really, really good deal. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna.
I like this place down here, man.
Thank you, man.
You got a good setup. I mean, it's I think. Is it just open?
Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys have to forgive me. Our show is here live from Tip Off Sports Bar and Grill. 2972 Ford Boulevard, Baton Rouge. Easiest accessibility to get here is off 110. It's about a mile up on your right. Really beautiful place in here. So
tons of TVs.
tons of TVs. Right now, you got college volleyball playing, NBA playing on several TVs. If you're a pool guy, they got pool in the back with sports. They have food. And also, if you're of age 21 and older, they have adult beverages.
And hydration. It's important to stay hydrated this time of the year.
So, yeah, it's a really, really beautiful spot. We want to thank the owner of Chip All Sports Bar and Grill. I hope I'm saying the name right. We want to thank Ms. Bobby LeBlanc for having us here and hosting the show live. One day we're going to get a real name for this podcast. But right now, we're rolling with the show live, man. I'm kind of fond of it, man. It's nothing special. It's kind of like the owner of the show. It's not nothing flashy, but it works. So we're gonna run through the power rankings, and this is a disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, that all the information that we give you comes directly from LHSAA. And so if you have a discrepancy with it, your issue is not with the show live, it's with the LHSAA. And we're giving you the latest up-to-date information that they have available as of October 21st, 2019, which was 9 days ago. The last I heard is that they're updated about every 2 weeks. And so there you have it.
It might be updated now. I think they may have done it today. Just it's worth to take a check to see here before we get started. This time of year is when everybody looks at these power ratings day in and day out, and they try to figure out who's winning, who's losing, because it matters the way the power ratings are set up. Power ratings, for each win a team gets, they get 10 points, and for each win their opponents get, they get 1 point. So when, there's teams up in Northwest Louisiana that are playing, those games matter because ultimately all comes down to the power points and the power ratings. Yeah, it was just done today. And, so it ought to be interesting. There's some good teams at the top.
Right. I agree with you. So we're gonna start with 4A and go on down, and we're just gonna run through really quick, really brief. We're gonna run through the logistics of those teams, and we may give you a stat or two. Who knows? But again, at the end of the day, before it's said and done, we're going to run through the top 10 in 5A, and we're going to run through the top 6 in Division 1 and give you some real meat and potatoes about all those teams. And so let's get started, man. Let's take the first.
We'll start with 4A, and I wrote down some teams that I thought would be a contender. But the rankings, the power rankings as of today, Lakeshore 1, Neville 2, Bastrop 3, Tioga 4, Carr 5. That might surprise some people as they've lost a couple of games. And, we talked to some people in New Orleans. Was it injuries? Why's Carr? Everybody thought Carr would be so dominant, especially when they started off early and lost to John Curtis 41-38. Everybody's like, oh, they're back strong again. Well, they've struggled a little bit, but the thing you got to know about Carr is when it comes playoff season, they're going to be ready to go. They're two-time defending 4A state champions, looking to make it the 3P. You got Karen Crow out of Lafayette, who I think is playing on a good team.
I think one thing that the people need to know too is with one of those losses that Carr has to Catholic High, Coach Brown, he did not play his starting quarterback and another key player in the second half because they didn't do some things that he asked them to do in the first half. And I'm telling you, Carr's quarterback is phenomenal. So with him being out of the picture, that makes a difference.
So Karen Crow's another team out of Lafayette who's playing really good. Westgate out of Lafayette. Westgate is a team that played Lakeshore very good just a couple of weeks ago. Also beat St. Thomas More who is going to be in Division II, the odds-on favorite. And then you look at Breaux Bridge. I think Breaux Bridge, Westgate, and Carrickville might all be in the same district. But you combine that along with Lakeshore, Carr, Neville, and Bastrop. Neville and Bastrop play this week. You're going to have a really good 4A playoff spot.
Right. Oh wow. Here we go. So at 11 is Leesville, Belle Chase, Eunice, DeRitter, Minden, Huntington, Franklin, Peabody, Warren Easton. Warren Easton is at 19, but I guarantee you they are the 19th seed. They are another school that has played a really tough schedule, and they're gonna be in the fight when it comes down to it. Let's try to see real quick.
They're a young team, and to your point, when young teams, they start off young in the beginning of the season, they may lose some games they shouldn't have. But as that week 10 gets closer and the playoffs get closer, they become more experienced, and you see teams like that starting to play a whole lot better.
Right. Warren Easton, man, they do a
10-4, I think, maybe 10 or 9. It's right in there with Carr and shit.
Right.
I think Carr and Cox play this week as well.
You know, Warren Easton played a really tough East Ascension team. They gained 42-41 at the final. Then they traveled to Monroe, played a really tough Roslyn team. So they, you know, again, the couple of losses that Warren Easton has, they didn't just take them. People earned those games. So at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, Warren Easton may be right there. They may be sitting at 19, but I guarantee you they're going to be in that Final Four at the end of the day.
I think Belle Chase, two other teams you mentioned that's worth mentioning is Belle Chase having a good year, and also Eunice. Eunice is defending champion. They started off a little bit slower. They just went up to Tioga, who was undefeated, won there. So Eunice is another team to look out for as well.
Right. So going on through, we're just going to run through the rest of the 4A. After Warren Easton, no disrespect to nobody in 4A football, but, you know, it's tough. I thought Rain would be a lot better this year. They had a lot of people came back there at 20. North Vermilion, George Washington Carver, they started out the season pretty tough. Northwood, Shreveport, Salmon, Livonia. Salmon is normally pretty tough. LeBron's, Plaquemine is way down this year. Yeah. South Terrebonne, Cecilia, Helen Cox, Landry Walker, DeSoto, Bolton, Livingston Collegiate, Franklin Parish, South Lafourche, Kennedy and Lake area, Washington Marion. I don't know if Washington Marion is a football school.
You know, back in the day, they were. They won the state championship. I'll never forget. They played in the mid-'80s. They came up, a couple of line scrimmages, quarterback. The linebackers there. Such a destroyer. Such a destroyer. It's 43-8. They're still saying. They were once. You know who's done a good job over there is Lake Charles College Prep.
Right.
I think they've done a really good job of developing a good football program.
Right. They brought in a new athletic director last year. They pretty much changed every coach in every sport they had there, and they're looking to do great things at Lake Charles College Prep. We're going to have some of those guys on as the season progresses. So Broadmoor is another team in 4A. They moved down from 5A, and I thought that they would fare a lot better, seeing that they had been playing in a tough 5A district. Woodlawn Tree, Eleanor, McMain, Northside, A.J. Elder, Struma, BTW, Bel Air, Terra, Beauchamp, and Morgan City. Morgan City, I think, is a basketball school. Nobody ever expects really anything out of them from football.
And you got a couple of private schools around that area that probably pull from as well. So, you know, Morgan City just struggles from year in and year out. And you got Central Catholic, maybe, that's over in that area. You know, sometimes you just gotta No, stay in your lane. It's basketball's their lane. That's what they need to stay in.
Right. So we're gonna move on to 3A right now. Right now, man, the king of the council in 3A is Robert Valdez and his St. James Wildcats.
That's a strong power rating at 17.31. We had the chance to go up to watch them play Lutcher, and you know they're just such a well-coached team, and any Robert Valdez team is, and so is Lutcher. It's just St. James is that good, but when you start looking at it, you got St. James, who's going to be there at the end. You know, you look at St. James, you look at Sterlington, Madison Prep, team we just mentioned, Lake Charles College Prep, and then the team that's a little bit further down, Union Parish, I think is always going to be a team that's going to be a contender. They're a young team. They like to compete. They're in the same district as in Sterlington, Wascom, and Carroll, and I think that'll be interesting to watch them as the playoffs go. But the main ones, St. James, Sterlington, and Madison Prep.
Right. Sterlington, man, it does, like Sterlington has probably have about 3,000 people in their beautiful, wonderful community. Shout out, that's where my dad's family is from, Sterlington, Union Parish.
So it borders the north part of Monroe, and it's really between Washita Christian and Bastrop.
Right.
For those of you that may or may not know.
And the old farmer, what's known as Farmerville, Louisiana. And that's why they're the farmers, Union Parish farmers. Hey, it's what it is. You can't make this stuff up, man.
No, you can't.
You can't make this stuff up. So, Sterlington, though, like, it's a really small community. But they are, every year here lately, they're always at the top of the food chain in football for the last, I'm going to say 10 years for sure. They have been doing very well in football.
You know, and they jumped up just a couple of years from 2A to 3A, and they hadn't missed a beat. The word I'm getting is not too long they're going to be in 4A. They're growing that much out that way.
Right. They're definitely growing. A lot of people are migrating from the Monroe, West Monroe area to the Sterlington area because they extended Sterlington into Monroe a lot. And so they have a lot of untapped, undeveloped land that they're redeveloping. And it's going to be they're going to make it beautiful, kind of like they're doing here with Prairieville, in between Gonzales and Baton Rouge.
And it's a brand new campus. I don't know if they have a turf field. I know Washington Christian does, but I know all their facilities are top of art. They do well in baseball as well as in football. Not to say anything about the basketball, I just don't follow as much as you do. No?
Not so much in basketball. They're the poster child for basketball. No disrespect, Sterlington. LaRondre, for me, LaRondre is a basketball school. I'm surprised that they're here.
You know, coming out of the North Shore, the district over there is, and I would sit here and I'm not positive, but I want to know if they're in the same district, and they may be. See, Kitwood's, which was Kitwood moved up to 3A? Or last year?
Yeah,
So they're all there in the same district, and I think LaRondre's is playing consistent football right now. The district as a whole is down, but I don't want to take anything away from LaRondre, but when it's all said and done, you don't really think of them being in the mix. Maybe they'll prove me wrong and they'll do it. You know, another team from around here, Donaldsonville, Caldwell Parish has been playing pretty well in the last couple of years, and they're pretty steady at number 7. Church Point at 6. I know there's a team that you're hearing a lot about. How about Carroll? What do you think about Carroll and Wascom? I was surprised that Carroll handled Wascom as well as they did last week.
I'm not surprised. I saw Carroll grow since they've got new head coach Alex Washington. They've grown a lot, not only as a football team, but in the way that they carry themselves as well. And so with that, it is no surprise to me. Coaches are coaching football at Carroll High School, and they're demanding greatness. And so when that happens, you have the building of powerhouse. In 2 years, Carroll will be able to compete with them.
and they're really squeezed with their schools on Washington. And there's Washita Parish schools that kind of run outside. The Motor City schools fit inside of it, and then you have Wasson, Carroll, and Neville. And Carroll sometimes can be squeezed a little bit, don't you think?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, because again, you gotta look at two, you got St. Frederick, OCS, and if I'm not mistaken, they built a new school, a new middle school, high school, East Washita. That's also not too far from there when you look at it. Like, it's like they have 9 to 10 schools within a 7-mile radius in the Monroe area. So kids are really shuffled out. You know, that goes to show you how many kids are in the Washita Parish area. So Carroll, again, I think Carroll is going to be that power to beat in 3A in 2 years. Don't prove me wrong, Coach Washington. Again, Lake Charles College Prep, you mentioned them early. Union Parish, we talked about them. Bossier, not necessarily known for football, but it's a good spot for them at 16. Wiseman and Coach Dean Smith, man, they're fighting. They gave Warren Easton the fight of their lives.
Carr, I think. Got a Carr one up there. Warren Easton.
Yeah, Carr. I'm sorry. Wiseman gave Edna Carr the fight of their life, and you know they came back, didn't do as well against Carroll next week, and kind of obliterated them. That's what it is this past week.
I think also, while we're speaking of Wasson, congratulations to Coach Ray Gambino, a guy that we were associated with back in the 80s, probably early 90s. Coach Wasson, you know, the quick pitch, he did straight T, they run a quick pitch, you couldn't stop it. But they just named the stadium for Coach Gambino up there.
Right, and they were known that back in the day, you did not want to go to Wasson and play them in football. You might have won the game, but the fight on the field, you were going to leave sore and hurt. That was a really tough place to go play back in the day, and I'm sure it was the same way now. They do a really good job over there, and I'm sure they're going to keep that tradition up. Not too much after that. Northwestern, Crowley, Baker, Coach Randall got a great win against Parkview a couple of weeks ago. St. Martinville, Jennings, Green Oaks.
Albany, Bruley, Westlake. You got Lutcher hanging at 28 now. That's a team that's not a 28 seed. I promise you. Don't sleep on them. Then Iowa at 29, ERAD 30, Kidder Discovery, and Mentorship. See, Mentorship is probably, if you get to watch him play, Coach, Keith Woods, I think it is. He's doing a great job over there, really getting those guys going. They're having an identity, and they're starting to go out and they're building a little bit of a program or small steps each week, and that's what you have to do. And Coach Keith Woods really done a good job with that. And I saw Green Oaks up there. What's the guy that just committed to LSU?
The coldest Williams. That's your shout out, the coldest from OTBS, man. You made it to the show, the coldest. That's my guy, Rashad Johnson. He's a journalist out of the Shreveport area, KSLA. That's his guy, the coldest. So I try to just, be journalistic buddies. I try to stay away from that, man. I don't want Rashad being mad at me. So, yeah, but the coldest, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's been in the news a lot this year. First he made it because of his name. That is his real government name, the coldest, and he's living up to it. So you got to shout out to that. And so I want to point this out about mentorship. I saw them two years ago when Coach Woods first took over there. Man, they struggled with beating Ostroma when they had just come back into playing sports. They really struggled to beat Ostroma, and now they're competing in a lot of games. So shout out to mentorship. That's the Sharks, Northwest at 33, Frederick Douglass,
see Frederick Bogalusa, South Beauregard, Mansfield, Berwick, Jules Sumner, Abbeville, Mammoth at 41. Then you go to 42 is Richwood, 43 Ville Platte, 44 West Feliciana. 42 and 44, Richwood and West Feliciana. Interesting, 2 years ago they were just in the Superdome playing for a state championship. Two communities that are trying to rebuild. 45 Patterson, 46 Sophie B. Wright, 47 Grant, 48 Buckeye, Glen Oaks, Pine Prairie, and 51 is Side Cap.
Hey, so now we're at 2A. Guy just met a couple of weeks ago. Stanley Smith of ULL fame. Man, he has those Faraday Trojans, man, purring like kittens down there. They're averaging probably about 55 points a game at Faraday this year. You do not want to get in the Trojans' way. They're running over people. North Cattle, Manny Mangum. Manny and Mangum, man, they're always in the top of the food chain.
So to your point, Faraday just played Mangum. They're doing 58-6
Last week.
And that's how good Faraday is. That's not a knock on Mangum, but this is a two-horse race in my opinion. It's Faraday and Meek. If they, Faraday, I've heard not only so much about their athletes, but their coaching as well. They said, look, don't let them fool you. Those guys are flat coach up there. And, I've heard a lot of compliments about Faraday and their coaching.
Right. So, again, like Todd said, Faraday, Meek, they were there last couple of years. Faraday has been, I think, 4 years in a row, they've been to the semifinals.
I think St. Helena Central knocked them off last year. I'm not positive on that, but I want to say they did.
And I tell you, Coach Smith and Coach Kitchens, they said this is their year. The way they're running up the score on people, and it's not purposely done. They're playing everybody that they have on their roster. So that's just what it is. South Platte is Pine, I think that's Pine Prairie.
There's two. There's Pine, who's on the North Shore. Pine Prairie's over in the Lafayette area. Then you have Red River, Avoyelles, and Lake Arthur that round off the top 10. In Kentwood, there they are at 11, Franklin 12, 13, Kinder, Quincy, Port. Let's see. We got Quincy at 14. Talking about Kentwood a little bit.
Kentwood.
I just think they're 4 and 4. We're so used to seeing them at the top. Industry are at a 500 record, but when it gets down to it, when you look at 2A, you're going to see that probably of the 32 teams, 12 of them will have losing records. Kentwood will be a quarterfinal team.
Hey, how good was the kid, I think his name, Trey Paul, that just went to LSU? How much did he do for Kentwood that they go to the first quarter, they go past the first quarter of the rankings?
He's that good. I mean, that's all you can say. I mean, he did everything for him. He was a phenomenal player.
Man, I didn't get to see him play, but I watched a lot of film on him, and he was murdering people every week, man.
Yeah.
That
was strong.
That was crazy. It was fun to watch. I wish there was somebody that, as a journalist, I hate that I didn't get to see live in person. That one still bothers me to this day.
The only time I saw him was in the Dome, and that was a tough game for him. But 16 Port Allen, 17 East Feliciana, Bunkie, General Trask, Capitol, St. Helena, Lakeview, Welsh, Springfield, Rose Pine at 25, Loreville 26. We got Rayville, Vinton, Lakeside, Jonesboro Hodge, Northeast at 31, and Delhi Charter at 32, Winfield 33.
Hey, so 1A, I don't think much happens in 1A. I think if I'm not mistaken, West St. John won it last year. That was like a lot of no sleepless days ago. So 1A is, I think is 1A is probably going to be West St. John.
Well, 1A, remember this year that they voted to only put 24 teams in the playoffs in 1A. it's still not enough because Northwood Lena, who is number 24, is giving up 58 points a game. They're 0-8. And again, this isn't the kids' fault, it's the system's fault. That's what's broke here. And you're going to put a team at 0-8 giving up 60 points a game in the playoffs. It was worse than that prior to this. But yeah, I think you look at West St. John, Oberlin's having a better year, but Oak Grove, I got to throw Oak Grove out there. They got two big guys in the middle that are that are plugs. Over 300, I think one of them committed to Tech, one of them committed to Kansas. So their defensive tackles are real strong. Look for Oak Grove to be in that final mix along with West St. John.
Right. So that's your Division 4A through 1A. Now we're going to run through. That was your classes 4A through 1A. Now we're going to go through Division 2 through 4.
Right.
And then we're going to let Todd take him a little break. And we'll get Jeff in here. And then me and Todd will come back and finish the show. So, Division 2.
St. Thomas moves to lose. I mean, when you look at it, they had 2 losses this year, a close game to Catholic, and they lost to Westgate. But then you got U-High, Loyola Prep, De La Salle, Archbishop Hannon, Eden White, Turtles Catholic, St. Louis, Parkview at 9, Vanderbilt Catholic at 10, Evangel all the way down to 11, St. Michael, who's having a good year at 12, Haynes Academy 13, Lusher Charter 14, Thomas Jefferson 15, Ben Franklin at 16. Don't be surprised if 15 and 16 don't opt out of the playoffs.
Hey, in St. Thomas, we want to shout out St. Thomas, man. Those guys did something this year that's almost unheard of. Like, you have to be a superpower, and here we are bringing up Monroe again, but it's just what it is. You almost have to be a superpower to go to Monroe and beat Neville and leave Neville talking about you after the game, and that's exactly what St. Thomas More did. They went and took the respect of the Neville Tigers, and those are some humbuggish fans there. They are like, oh,
easy. No, we don't like to lose, period. And yeah, Neville traveled to St. Thomas More, and you know, it wasn't close. And I think, you know, the way coaches are, and I know Mickey McCarty is this type of coach, you take those type of losses and you have to challenge your team with them. And you keep comparing it to them and making them better. And so those losses are either going to, you know, really put a nail in you or they make you better, but it also depends on the program, the culture it has, and the way Neville's program is. It's, but you're right, they have every bit of respect for St. Thomas More after that game.
right. So Division 3 is
It's going to be great.
yeah, right. Lafayette Christian at 1, Notre Dame at 2, St. Charles Catholic at 3, Isidore Newman, the Greens at 4, Dunham at 5, Episcopal at 6, Catholic New Iberia at 7, Ascension Episcopal. I've never seen that school, man, ever.
They invited you yet?
No, I haven't invited me yet.
They might invite you.
Shout out to
The
Ascension.
Blue Gators, aren't they?
I keep seeing their name, but I've never seen anything that said we are playing an athletic event here today. So, I don't know. Holy Savior Menard, that's a basketball school. St. Thomas Aquinas, they're down this year. Norfolk Christian, Pope John Paul II, Collegiate Baton Rouge.
I can tell you where they are, and I live here. But, hey, that's a tough, I mean, look at Lafayette Christian, Notre Dame, they've already played once. Notre Dame's lost their running back this year. St. Charles, weekend and week out plays one of the toughest schedules. Them and Newman just went to a one-point ball game. And then you look at Dunham and Episcopal. They just squared off, and Dunham ended up winning in the last drive. And so those 6 are going to be who to talk about in that particular division, but it ought to be a good one.
I think, me personally, I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, I want to see Lafayette Christian go against Isidore Newman in the finals. Peyton Manning, great nephew. Eli Manning, great nephew. He's a gunslinger down there and for the Greens, man. anytime you got your uncles in the stands, you've done something good, man. Like
No pressure.
no pressure at all, man. He was born to do this, man. And then when I'm gonna say this, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack from my friends about this, but growing up, Arch Manning was my favorite quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
I had this little cloth number 8 jersey, Saints jersey. It was just the greatest feeling to wear that shirt dirty every other day.
So Tony Galvin, Chuck Muncie, Tommy Scott, Wes Chandler, all those guys.
Hey, I was a Saints fan up until I stopped watching football.
Tommy Myers, Tommy Scott, Tommy Myers, I might be wrong. That guy.
Hey, we're getting on the hill top.
I'm just glad you're not sweating anymore. You look like a champ.
Hey, thank you, man. I'm trying, man. Again, this Division III, man, this is going to be really special though when it comes down to the last 6 teams. You can't leave out Dunham. Dunham had Derek Stingley. He was to Dunham what Trey Palmer was to Kentwood. And so when you lose a guy like that does not come off the field, and we're going to talk about a guy like that at 5A when we come back, that plays offense, defense, punt return, kick return, kickoff, and kickoff return. Like last year, Trey Palmer and Derek Stingley did not come off the field, even when they were tired. And so when you lose guys like that, you lose a lot.
And to see those teams rebound, this talks about the quality of coaching that those schools have.
Right, because, again, Kentwood at 11, Dunham is the top 5 in a very tough Division III. I think Division III is one of the toughest in football.
And then moving to Division 4, you got Vermilion Catholic at the top, Opelousas Catholic 2, Ascension Catholic 3. Who Ascension Catholic is it's interesting. They, had a coaching change. Coach Sam has been around forever. Has really come in, implemented a different offensive system. They're playing their defense. They're 7-0 in the 3. Southern Lab lost a whole lot last year, but they played a very tough schedule. They're 4-3. You never count them out. Then you got Washita Christian, Calvary Baptist. 7 is Catholic Point Compete, who has beaten Opelousas Catholic, beat them pretty handily. And then you look at 8, Mary Park Country Day, and I think right there is kind of how I would see those top 8, maybe a St. Frederick getting a little bit of a run there, but mainly those top 8 would be fighting it out for the championship.
Hey, Cedar Creek, Central Catholic, St. Edmund, Sacred Heart, St. Frederick, Riverside, they got Coach Kevin Dizer, his 2nd year, but they played a really tough schedule. They played Thibodeau, St. James, Walker, like they played a really tough schedule, and they had to play that schedule with some of their key players out due to injuries for the majority of the season. Gage Larberdan, who plays quarterback and free safety for Riverside, just put up an all-purpose 384 yards for the Rebels. Hamilton Christian, those guys got phenomenal talent there. They're growing their program. Westminster Christian, Highland Baptist, Ascension Christian. Ascension Christian just joined back into a district or classification division. However you want to look at it, they were out for a couple of years trying to build their athletic program back up. Covenant Christian, St. Mary, St.
Martin's Episcopal, Hanson Memorial, Ridgewood, Thrive Academy, Ecole Classique, St. John, and Home Christian round out your top 27 in the Division 4. If I'll get out of here, Coach Jones is going to throw a foul. I call a foul. He looks for any excuse to call fouls. So even when I don't foul, he calls a foul.
So look, we're gonna Thrive Academy. They're new to varsity sports this year. They got a new principal this year, Mr. Paul Sampson. He is an athletic guy. He started his career off You won't believe what he started his career off at.
What?
He started as an athletic trainer at East Ascension High School, stayed in school. This is why getting an education, people, is so important. He started as an athletic trainer, and now he's a principal of a high school. Congratulations to Mr. Todd Sampson. He's doing a great job. We're going to ask our next guest to join us before Todd and I finish the night off. He's no stranger to the people in the Baton Rouge Metroplex, people across the state of Louisiana. He is Mr. Jeff Jones, Mr. Madison Prep. Hey man, thank you for joining us, man. I know it was tough getting out of practice late. Sharon, you know, you guys got another gym. You know, you guys got a lot of sports over there, man.
Middle school just started, so the middle school team went back, so we're trying to wait till the girls right. We just got finished up.
Hey man, again, thank you for joining us. What we're gonna do is, you know, I know you've been on the show before, but just quick, give the people a little bit of background about you. A little small tidbit for me.
Head coach at Madison Prep, so I'm second year there. On the grassroots side, I direct Louisiana League Basketball Club. Same time running down the circuit.
So he's kind of a modest guy, man. And that, you know, again, sometimes when you win as much as he's won and you put all your accolades out there, some people think you're being up and being arrogant, but that's, you know, I've known Jeff for a while now. I appreciated him when he first started his basketball program, and so I've known him now for a while. I think Jeff has 4 kids that came up under his umbrella in the NBA. Jarrell Martin.
And Brandon Sampson.
Okay,
And Chad Williams, on that side will be Indianapolis coach.
So Jeff has done a lot of good things. He has Western Kentucky, Josh Anderson, Georgetown, Josh LeBlanc, Jaron Whitfield,
Community College. Christian Thompson is at Tulane University. Kobe Julie at UL Lafayette. So 2 kids playing. Long Brady is South Carolina. So kids up there basically.
and this is not him being uppity or bougie or anything like that. That's winning. That's what winning does for you. When you win, you put kids in college, and if they're really good, they go to their next level. So, congratulations, Jeff. Also, another accomplishment of Coach Jones is, again, as he stated, he's the director of Louisiana League Basketball. On the Under Armour circuit, those guys had another Elite 8, the finals finished in the top 8 in the country.
Yeah. It was really good. And the thing I like about the grassroots basketball, you get to meet a lot of kids from all over the state. And the biggest thing about it, provide an opportunity to play for the college coaches and get a chance to hopefully earn a scholarship and get a college degree.
And so, on the grassroots side now, Elijah
Tate,
ULM,
Chance Robinson,
Buffalo.
Buffalo, Jalen Cook, LSU, Thomas Howell, ULM, and Damian
Bradford.
Texas A&M. And about 3 or 4 other kids still inside. Jordan Johnson being recruited. You also have Hooper Grace is going to end up somewhere. You probably won't have to see maybe with basketball or football. End up somewhere. Probably on T-set.
We just got an offer from Northwestern today.
Carl T-set's going to sign Division I. Kids are going to have like Calvin Hines. Those are
out of the top 30 players in basketball in the state of Louisiana, 8 of the top 10 played for Louisiana Elite. That's impressive. The only one that didn't is Reese Beekman, who played for Phenom Youth. 9 of the top 10. You know, that's really impressive stat. And then we had a few other, 5 or 6 others that rounded out, were in the top 30. How is it competing on the grassroots circuit, playing against teams all across the country?
I enjoy it. So, I mean, it's always good to get those guys out, get them exposure. It's always funny. A lot of times, some of these kids, first time getting on the airplane, is when they go to the football us. We try to put in nice hotels, they play in nice venues, and get to play with these kids that are going to end up playing in college and television, Power 5, high major guys. The challenge and the fun part for me, you know, Louisiana doesn't get as much notoriety as it should in sport basketball. So we go out there and play against teams from California, kids from New York, kids from Chicago, kids from other places that are considered basketball hotbeds. First to go out there and not only hold their own, but beat most of them. That's always fun.
Right.
And then give kids opportunity to say, they get recruited on scholarship. That's what it's all about.
What team on the circuit? It's a lot of really good teams out there on the circuit. A team that I got, Team Charlotte was a favorite of mine. A guy that I watched my whole life. We're around the same age. Jeff McInnes is the head coach there. They're pretty tough. What's one of the favorite teams that you like competing against?
All of them, really. I like playing against a team band, team that's full of athletes, full of kids that are all going, most of them are in schools. Like you said, Jeff McInnes did a phenomenal job. Recognized, he coaches really hard. Coaches like to play the attitude and chip. West Coast and got a chance to actually meet the man, Jamie Green, some of the guys. I'm probably say those 3. Probably be some of my favorites. Give our guys a chance to play with these guys that they've seen on YouTube and Wild and ESPN and stuff. Like I said, it's good.
Hey, the crazy part about traveling on the circuit is that after going from spring to the middle of summer, you have to, being that you're the head coach at Madison Prep, home on the Chargers, then you have to come back and go straight into getting mentally prepared to coach your high school team. What you guys do, you guys normally have a pretty strenuous and rigorous all-season training program. Tell us about some of the things that you did to get prepared for this upcoming season.
We gotta just stick to what works. One of my favorite coaches, mentors, kind of Nick Saban. Alabama team. Nick Saban, Alabama team. It doesn't matter how many guys get drafted, how many guys leave. Every year, they're like in the top 3. Only one. And then all the guys come in, they just come in and just fit in the system.
Right.
For us, preseason conditions consists of a lot of running, lifting weights. A couple times on some days, I call it kind of character runs where our entire team is going to run 10 miles. And everybody finishes. Everybody finishes with school. We're running 2 miles for time. Our school is kind of not too far from downtown, so we're running to the state capitol, run down to the casino, the hills, and run back. Just different stuff where guys have to kind of pull together, encourage each other, kind of pull some of the bigger guys through. But, our motto, one of our mottos is you got to go through something to get something. So we kind of have to go through something together. And it just brings a lot of bonds. And they love this time of year, because we started in August or something, and now they're getting a chance to play scrimmages and jamborees are coming in games. So, August up to now, it's like those guys have been working right now to their paycheck. But now, we scrimmage down that Monday. We go down to the old scrimmage on Carver and McMahon on Saturday. And next week we got Port Allen and McKinley. So they're going to start getting some paycheck for the work that they've been putting in. So,
Hey, so it's funny to me that you say that because you and I think and we talk more frequently than most people probably would imagine. I think a lot of that was because my son played for you in the beginning, but then we built our own personal relationship. And like you talk about kids earning their paychecks a lot, and again, this year leading your squad at Madison Prep, you got a guy that we talked about just 2 years ago that you said, man, I don't know if this kid is going to be able to walk and chew bubble gum. But now he's grown, and that kid is Jordan Johnson, 6'7", 6'8", stretch 4/center for you right now. Elijah Tate, the little point guard, number 3,
Kevon Shannon.
Kayvon, yeah, I think Kayvon is
Kevon Shannon, Denzel Perkins, the left-hand shooter, Jason Perry, another solid senior. The guy is getting a lot of interest from a lot of big schools right now. Percy Daniels, 6'9" sophomore. Quincy Wiggins, first day of practice this year broke his finger, but he was about 6'7", 30-pound sophomore. Really going to turn out of here and broke his leg. We're a good group of kids over there, man. Good group of kids, they're competitive, they work hard. And they know the standard. The standard's already been set there, and they just want to try to keep the tradition going as long as they can.
You travel all summer. Some people spend all summer creating their schedule, working on their schedule, because to have a good schedule, it takes a lot of time. You have to know coaches, you have to know tournaments. How do you compact such a tough schedule and then you host one of the toughest tournaments within the state that is chock full of really tough competitive teams that travel to Baton Rouge to play? What goes in the scheduling for you?
I like to play every day we play. I want to be something to challenge me. I try to every night out try to be challenged. We don't look for any cupcakes. I want our guys to see all types of different styles of basketball and other good program and championship kind of teams. This year we're playing everybody from Scotlandville to District. So we see all types, all styles of basketball. Come March, and we'll be ready for whatever.
I know this is a tough question that most coaches don't like to be asked, but if anybody can handle it, Jeff Jones can. It's why you work out so much. What team are you looking forward to clashing heads with this year? What's the team, man?
I would have to say Scotlandville. Scotlandville are friendly, reliable, and numbers don't lie. In the last 7 years for us, 10 years for them, they won 6 state times, we won 6 state times. Nobody else in the state is close to that. We are, to me, the 2 best programs in the state of the last 2 years. Coach Sam did a great job. He's got really good players. 3 or 4 of those guys are on the side, and the tradition is set over there, and they just come in and fit out with the JJs and the Pancakes and the Javontes and all those guys, these new guys, the Reeses, the Carville, Scoobers, these guys just coming right in and keeping it going. He does a great job. Everything is understood when the kids get there. And that's all I gave you. We look forward to the notes. he and I both do. After the game, we sit down, so we go get something to eat or something, and at the end of the day, we'll say each other for the game, this isn't stop them from winning the Division I state tournament, not stop us from winning the 3A state tournament. So it's just a really good competitive game. We played it the last 2 years at Family Christian Academy. Over 3,500 people in there for high school game. People come all over the state to see it. At Southern, my 2017, we easily had 6,000 people in there. So it's a game that everybody across the state, whether you're a fan of ours or theirs or not, come and see because they know it's going to be pretty good.
I got one last question to ask you, and I'm gonna let you go. I know you got a lot to do, man, but excuse me. For your body of work, have you done enough to be an LHSA Hall of Fame coach?
Keep looking good. I guess by the number, you can look at that, I guess, but I don't really.
Yes.
I don't really think that.
Yes.
I just want to keep giving young guys opportunities. Keep them kids in college. We had 2 kids signed last year. We'll probably have 4 signed this year. And keep them back in young. A lot of our kids come from single parent homes. A lot of those kids wouldn't be where they were. They didn't come through our school. So that's really my deal. I don't really start thinking about, let's just say Hall of Fame, or let's come with a big check.
He means that, guys.
So, just being able to help young men and the student all sitting in college schedule is an issue. We probably got, like I said, 5 kids playing Division I. And it makes you feel good because you make this kid, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, receiving as men, and they call you now and have real young men conversations with you. It's good.
Right.
Very good.
And so I think that's our question for tonight. When we think about it, we have Jeff Jones here, man. This guy gives 11 and a half months out of the year to help our youth athletics. Have Jeff Jones done enough in his body of work to be considered one of the greatest high school basketball coaches of all time? I'm going to post it in a little bit, and we want your thoughts. We want your feedback. I know what I think of Jeff, and I know what he's done because I've watched him over the last 17 years. I've been back home in the state of Louisiana. He's done a phenomenal job helping kids. I saw him when he started off with Joshua Barn Company, and back then they weren't very good. It took some craftiness to get those kids where they are.
I gotta tell you the truth, we both been good. I don't know.
They weren't very good. Winning and being great, like you can win some games and it's just the product of the beast, but those guys, once they got to high school, they were great. They were guys that you did not want to walk into the gym to see Joshua Long, Josh Anderson, Christian Thompson, Walker, Kobe. You didn't want to walk in the gym and see those dudes, man. So, I remember the first time I saw Jarrell, you guys played them at McKinley. The McKinley band is in the corner rocking, and there's not a seat in the gym. One of the best games I've ever seen. So, again, congratulations, Jeff, man. You've done a great job at Madison Preparatory Academy. They're the Chargers. This is Jeff Jones. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So, rejoining us again now. I think we maybe exceeded our time limit, but we're going to try to finish. We got one more little segment that we got to go through. Again, we want to
Hall of
thank.
Fame. We got to be 70 or 80 years old. Be a Hall of Fame guy.
Jeff just about. I think Jeff is 35, so he hasn't made it there yet. That's his joke, you guys.
He's been working out, hasn't he?
Yeah, he works out every day, man. He eats clean. You know, again, the question of the night. What do you guys think of Jeff Jones' body of work? Again, I'm gonna post that once we close out for the night. Again, joining me again. Thank you, Todd, for sticking around, man. I know you got a lot to do, but we got to talk about the meat and potatoes, man.
All right, let's do it.
We got to talk about the meat and potatoes, and that is 5A and Division I. We're going to talk about the top 6 teams in Division I, and we're going to talk about the top 10 teams in 5A. And it's no disrespect to no one else in 5A or Division I. We're going to call out the rankings like we did in all the other classes. But at the end, once we go through, we're gonna talk about this stuff. All right. So Division I is Catholic Baton Rouge, Archbishop Ronald, Brother Martin, John Curtis, Holy Cross, Jesuit, Scotlandville, St. Augustine, C.E. Bird, Shreveport, St. Paul's, North Shore, Archbishop Shaw, I think that's New Orleans, and McKinley, Baton Rouge.
The top 4 you named, Catholic, Rommel, Brother Martin, and John Curtis are the 4 that will be in the semifinals, barring something surprising. Scotlandville has an opportunity because of their speed to upset. Holy Cross has the opportunity to maybe upset just because they're well coached. Other than that, it's going to be interesting. People have penciled Catholic in, John Curtis, and I think Rome's going to have a lot to say about it. I really do. Their defense is really good. So is Brother Martin's. But when you look at the power ratings of Catholic, Rome, Brother Martin, and Curtis, I see Catholic. I don't know, man. It's just going to be how it falls. In other words, whoever matches up with Brother Martin will be in there, and then if Catholic and Curtis, as of now, Catholic and Curtis will match up in the city finals.
Hey, you know what's really crazy though? This morning when I finished up my notes on Division I, Scotlandville was in. And
Your top 6?
yes, Scotlandville was in the top 6 this morning. When I started working on my notes last night and finished this morning and reset it and it hadn't come through yet, and Scotlandville was there. But and they started off, they were averaging 50-something points a game, and Zachary, Walker,
Live Oak. Was it Live Oak?
yeah, their last 3 games.
Well, no. Live Oak play Live Oak this week.
Yeah.
Central
Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Those last 3 games have been really tough for them. And so, again, realistically, I said we were only going to talk about them, but man, they got 12 teams in Division I. Those guys, any of those 12 teams, I think, with the exception of McKinley and Shaw, right now they just seem to have really no chance. McKinley has EA this week.
So that's one of the things, and when you look at the LHSA PowerPoints opposed to some of these other PowerPoints, the LHSA PowerPoints do not give teams credit for the wins of teams on their schedule until they play. So in other words, let's take Catholic Baton Rouge, they're playing Woodlawn. So they have not been given credit for their wins until they play. Other websites will go ahead and give them credit. That's why you might see a different ranking between the LHSA websites and other websites. But, you know, I think it's going to be really tough for a lot of those teams to compete. I just think Catholic and Rummel and John Curtis are playing so well right now. I think Rummel's given up.
Right, they're holding teams to 7 points per game defensively. Rummel is, and I was really kind of surprised that Catholic overtook them, even though Catholic is playing really well. Coach Fertitta is doing a great job with those guys over there, man. They have a herd dog mentality. And that's what we live by every day.
And they keep it simple. They have a great work ethic. And you know, anytime we talk to one of the guys that have coached forever and have had a lot of success, they always say, keep it simple, keep it simple. And that's what, when you watch Catholic go back and forth, they do a lot of shifting, a lot of high candy. But when it's said and done, they run the same type of offense. And it's great on their part because it keeps the defense looking.
I want to look at Jesuit a little bit because, you know, again, it may be a little bit unfair. It may be a little bit unfair not to really talk about Jesuit. They're here. They not a pushover. They played Terrebonne, St. Paul, Heaven Cox, Brother Martin, Holy Cross, St. Augustine. They played Curtis. They played Shaw. They have Hunville, who is number 1 in 5A. At least they were this morning. And they have, Lord have mercy, they have Rummel. So they have 2 nightmarish games that they have to finish the season off with and then go into a playoff system.
Yeah, and that's what's just, I mean, you can't get more prepared than Hunville, the number 1 team in 5A non-selected, than Rummel. You know, it's going to be a tough task for them. I mean, to whoever they draw, they might win in the first round. Because right now with 12 teams, you've got to assume the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds are all going to get buys in a 16-team bracket. So they're all advanced to the quarterfinals, if I'm correct. So they'll pick up all the teams that win, you know, after 2. Yeah.
So, again, Jesuit looks like they're 6-2. They're averaging probably about 20-some points a game, but they're also, looks like they're giving up maybe 17, 18 points a game, or pretty close to it. So, those guys have a fight on their hands. I know Coach Ricard and those guys over there on the Scholarville coaching staff personally, those guys aren't going to give up. Number 1, Scholarville definitely believes that they can win it all this season. That's how much they believe in what they're doing over there. And so that's Division 1, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I think that when you go back and you look at wow, when you look at Division 1 and 5A, you wish to get a true sense of what Louisiana high school football is and what it holds and beholds. When you look at John Curtis, Captain Baton Rouge, Rummel, top 4 teams that we just mentioned, and now I'm telling you, looking at this screen right now, I'm in shock. What we're about to call out to you, and we first want to. I told people over the last 2 weeks about the number 1 team in the state right now, and that's head coach Matt McCullough. Acadiana Wrecking Rams, they hold the number 1 seed right now, and guess what? They earned it. They won 82-41 last week. It's almost impossible to score 80-plus points in a football game. And they got Sulphur fired in the 3rd game of the Sulphur coach gave up 73 points to Acadiana in the beginning of the season. I was really, I don't even have the words for what I felt when I saw that. I was mostly embarrassed and hurt for the kids because, like last week, Acadiana only played their best players for a half, from what I heard.
Well, that score, what I was going to tell you is the score was like 56-43. I'm sketching. Maybe 54. Can you imagine? They scored 54 points. So when they came out, they shut out Sam Houston in the second half, but probably halfway through the third, they may have made their adjustment and made their substitutions. 54 points in 24 minutes.
Right. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal football.
But to your point, most of their games probably have only been.
They're averaging. Let me see if I can find this stat for you guys, because I want to give it to you right. Acadiana is averaging almost 50 points per game offensively, while only giving up roughly 16 points a game. And again, that's phenomenal football. I know a lot of you guys don't know Coach Matt McCullough's story, but he's also the head baseball coach at Acadiana, and so he has double duties. He goes from football, leaves there, starts preparing his kids for baseball. When most schools right now, baseball coaches are starting to prepare for the baseball season. He won't get started till December.
We had him on the show last week, and going back to what you said when you opened up, though, it's people don't realize when you sit there and you yell at a coach or you disagree with what they're calling, you got to realize what they're putting in to your son. And that there's instances they know your son better than you do as a parent. And they are doing everything they can to win games, but more importantly, they're doing everything they can to develop your son and the rest of those kids into being the best possible people that they could possibly be. And so this guy takes so much time away from his own family to help yours. That's a sacrifice.
Right.
But, you know, my kids, as when I coached, they got to where they enjoyed it more and more and more. When I was at home, they kind of wanted me to leave. but seriously though, you really do have to understand how much these coaches put in, whether you like it or not. They don't come to your job and complain about what you do. So, I mean, you shouldn't come to their job and complain about what they do, because they just don't get paid a whole lot of money, and they do it because they love the game and they love their kids, and that's what people have to remember.
Right. I want to apologize to everybody. I think I went off on a tangent talking about Coach Matt McCullough and his Acadiana Wrecking Rams. Probably stayed there a little longer than I was supposed to, because I was only supposed to say number 1 and move on. So number 2, Longville. Number 3, East Ascension. 4, Alexandria. 5, West Monroe.
6 is Walker. They're in that district. It's really tough. Yeah, 4, 5, 8. You got Walker, Zachary, Lilo, Scotlandville, as you mentioned. But moving on down, Thibodeau 7, Sam Houston 8, Slidell 9, Central of Baton Rouge 10. Captain Shreve has been a big surprise at 11, Zachary 12. Halton another surprise. Captain Shreve beat Halton this past weekend 14-7. 14 East St. John. 15 is Mandeville with an electric offense. Really 3 good, we got a good back, receiver, and running back, quarterback, I should say. Barb's at 16, Destro 1 at 18. Big game this week. You get Samall. You got Airline 19, Southside 20, and John Eric coming in at 21.
22 is Central Lafourche. They lost a tough game on Saturday to East St. John. Ruston at 23, Washita Parish, Go Big Red at 24, Live Oak, West Washita, Clark, Terrebonne, Chalmette, Covington, Como, and finishing up at number 32,
I'm good.
Huntsatula, Greenway. So that's your top 32. Let's go back to the meat and potatoes. At the end of the day,
I gotta go to the top.
number 1 is number 1, so they're not number 1. And number 2 is Conville. We talked about Trey Palmer earlier. We talked about Derek Stevens Jr. Conville has a couple of guys that can do it all. They're 8-0 for a reason.
They really rebounded. Last year they had a lot of drama around their program, And so this year they've come back and really played well. You know, Coach Saul wanted them to be ranked, and at the end of the day, it really don't matter if you're ranked. This is what matters and what seed you are. And you've got a 2, which I think would be a pretty good test for them, and then they've got a week 10 matchup. So that'll be interesting. EA has left.
They have McKinley this Friday, and they have the best rivalry in the state game. Oh, I forgot about this. You guys, I was donated some Spartan. This is for the Eastern Central Spartans and the St. Amant Gators fans only. They donated some Spartan shout-out, Gators shout-out shirts for us to give away. This is how you win the shirts. You must be able to tell me the last 4 coaches for basketball that have coached the Eastern Central Spartans. If you can tell me that in any type of way, I have 3 shirts to give away. Forgive me about that, Spartan.
What about the Sandhawk people? They get
Yeah, you got it's for hey, you gotta figure it out. Hey, Eastern Central gave me the shirt, so it's only fair that I ask the Eastern Central question.
You know I love you.
I mean, like, isn't that fair? Like,
You blushing.
so, hey, we gotta get back to it, man. And number 3, the Eastern Central Spartans, they're 6-2 right now. They played a really tough schedule. They started off with beating Zachary in the opening week. A lot of people were surprised about that. Traveling to Holden had a very disappointing loss. I think everybody that was a part of Eastern Central was sad after that game. And then 2 weeks later, they came back and beat a very good Warren Eastern football team.
I think the thing when I think about East Ascension and what I've seen with them is I would love to see more consistency out of them. Week in and week out. They could beat anybody on any given night. But sometimes they come out and they just aren't ready to play. And, you know, that's not just the issue with one team. They're all 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. They have so many things going on in their lives. You've got to be able to find a way to harness that and get them to play with consistency because they've got the talent, they've got the coaching, and then they have probably a little chip on their shoulder by the way last year ended. Because that was the craziest ending to a game I've ever seen. They should, for the most part, been in the semifinals.
They went down to New Orleans on the West Bank Stadium in Gretna, I think that is, and lost I think it was in the last 11 seconds. Mm-hmm. They lost the game. This year, their starting quarterback, Cam Jones, he did a phenomenal job leading them. He got hurt a couple of weeks ago. Kid by the name of
For extension?
Yes.
You got him.
Kid by the name of Homer Grayson IV took over as quarterback. I'm blushing now for real, you guys. That's a humbling experience. My son, who hadn't played football since 6th grade, was asked to come back and play football this year. He's asked to come back and play quarterback,
But he plays receiver too.
and free safety.
And free safety.
And he's on the kickoff team. Kickoff return team. Something I don't know, man. I'm just having fun as a
I bet you
father.
are, man. I bet you are.
It's really humbling, man.
So I thought, though, when they ran the 2-quarterback system, I didn't know he was the number 2 guy. Or is he not? He just came in and stepped in.
Well, he was asked to come in and learn the system, and they did. They didn't identify him. They came in and they put expectations on him, and he did a great job of handling all whatever it is. I try to stay out of the way of that, but again, Cam got hurt. I think 2 weeks ago. Hobart had to step in last year. Last week he was the starting quarterback against Woodlawn. They got a 45-0 win. He threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for 1. I don't know how many yards.
You get
whatever.
nervous?
Nah, come on now.
I never get nervous, man. He's worked his whole life for this. So I'm never nervous when he's on the field or the basketball court. He was born to do this. And from a parent's perspective, yes, there's arrogance because I've seen the work he's put in since he was 5. But at the end of the day, he has to go out there and do what his coaches tell him to do in order for this to be successful. And that's what he's shown the propensity to do.
It's not arrogant. It's just being, truthful, and that's what it's about. I mean, I think that's awesome. He's senior, right?
Right. But he's not the only piece to that Spartans team. They have a guy by the name of Can't Stop Steve-O. Can't Stop Steve-O. He's one of my favorite wide receivers across the state, man. He's made some remarkable catches. In every game, it seems like he makes Odell Beckham catch. So he's been really fun to watch. They have Jaron Johnson, Javen Carter. They have this kid number 99. He's like 6'5". His name is Desmond Schuster. He's done a. Excuse me, y'all know I don't know I'm gonna say this, but he's done a hell of a job at the defensive tackle spot. They have this guy, Riante. Excuse me, Riante, I don't know your last name, man. You have to forgive me for that. Maybe you can help me with that time. Riante is one of their linebackers. And you guys have to, my kid goes to EA, so I'm going to know a lot of these kids' names.
When you move down and you look at Alexandria, you look at West Monroe, same district. Alexandria and West Monroe played a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Alexandria played them tough, lost 19-7. Walker's a team who's really coming on strong here late. Coach Chad Mahaffey, who's at U High, has got them playing really well. Then you have Thibodeau at 7, Sam Houston at 8, who at Caviana just scored 82 on.
Right.
Then you got Slidell at 9, and then coming up at 10, you've got Central Baton Rouge, who is been a big surprise this year.
Hey, so watch this right here. When you look at it, the team that I did not expect to be there. Like they playing a really tough 2-5-8 district that's chopped with West Monroe, Washita, West Washita, Ruston, and
That's the 5.
yeah,
Pineville, no, I think it's Pineville.
right. Because Natchez Central went to 1-5. So, again, at the end of the day, man, it's like Jesus Christ. How did Ash get here?
Well, and they've got a good coach, and just that's the one thing that they've been really. Last week against Ruston, they were very fortunate. It was the last second play, and they caught it and ended up winning 17-13. So they got another tough one this week against Washington.
Right. Washington this week, and then I'm not sure what it was, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, West Monroe, they're 71. They're always a force to be reckoned with. And guess what? You don't want to see them on the road, but you really don't want to see them on Rebel Drive. Like, it's hard to go to West Monroe and win on any given Friday night, and you're probably not going to win if you play in West Monroe, because that's how much confidence they play with when they're at home.
Just like to behold.
Hey, you know the history though. I want you guys to know something. It's just what it is, and you can attest to this. West Monroe used to be the homecoming school. Everybody got their chance to whoop up on them every week until our beloved Mike Valerie left Washington, and that's when West Monroe kind of picked it up. But congratulations to West Monroe. They've done a hell of a job. They sent a lot of kids to college. They won, I think, maybe 3 or 4 state championships. They've done an excellent job. And Walker, Wildcats, Coach Chad Mahaffey. Again, when you see Coach Mahaffey at university and you see all the weapons that he had, it was really beautiful to see. And he would go and play anyone. Well, I thought that those guys would take a. He brought a lot of coaches in with him, and then he hired a lot of really good coaches to come with him. And losing Jalen Cook, who once he committed to LSU basketball, decided that he wasn't going to play football anymore. Who Cook was a receiver, a free safety, punt returner, kick returner. He washed the dishes. He sprayed the white uniforms off in mud games. It's not much Jalen hasn't done for the Walker High School athletics.
Brian Thomas, I think, is their receiver, right?
Right.
He's really stepped up.
Brian Thomas, who fields offers from LSU, Alabama, and every other major Power 5 school in the United States. I think they lost their quarterback 2 years ago to the guy that I thought that was going to be the starting quarterback. He didn't get the job. He switched. Coach Ricard made the right decision, because if you're there and you leave, did you really want to be there? If you're at a school and you leave, you really didn't want to be there if you didn't get the job. So it's like you got to compete. And the guy that they chose, he's a senior now. He's doing a hell of a job throwing the, what do they call it? Rolling the pill.
Spinning it.
Spinning the pill. Y'all know. I don't know that. I'm sorry. But Walker has done a great job, man. And number 7,
Thibodeau, always very consistent in that Honville district. Sam Houston is with the Acadiana Bar and that group over in Lake Charles, Lafayette area. Slidell comes from the North Shore, and then you go back to Central and Baton Rouge, who is in with the Walker district. Central's got a good game this week against Zachary.
right. That will be a good game for Zachary. And you know, again, Zachary is Zachary is at number 12, but with their experience for the last 5 years, they played in on Portland Street. That's every coach's goal, to get to Portland Street. So at the end of the day, oh Lord, I went past another time, Mark. In a minute, but we want to finish this last little segment. Zachary and Keelan Brown, they're really good. Central Baton Rouge, they're playing really good. We're going to talk about Thibodeau at 6-2 though. They're number 7. I got to watch them play Saturday night. They played against Destrehan, who I don't. Destrehan is at 17. The Destrehan Thibodeau game Saturday night was probably the best football game I've seen all season. And the score isn't indicative. The final score ended up being 49-21, I believe. But the football score was not indicative of what the kids left on the field Saturday night. And you can see that, how much that rivalry means to both of those schools. Because that Red River football district is already tough to say. East St. John, Honville, Destrehan, Thibodeau, Destrehan, like, those are super heavyweights. And one of them are always going to be at the top of the food chain. Right? So the top 10 in the Division I, the top 6, top 7, with Scotlandville, you can't leave them out. I'm sorry, you just can't leave Scotlandville out with the amount of work that they've amassed this football season, with a new coach, new offensive coordinator. They've done some impressive stuff. Todd, man, thank you. Have to buy you a beer.
I've enjoyed it, man.
Hey,
A lot of fun.
Hey, so when you come back again, when you come back again, hey, How y'all doing? You have your invitation now. Any Wednesday night you want to show up, you know, just come, man. I'm really grateful.
Crash the party.
Yeah, hey, just come crash the party, man. Thank you guys.
I wish you the best of luck with your show, man. I think you got a great idea, and I think that, you know, what it's about is doing it for the kids, and that's what we all do this for. It's not because of the money, it's not for anything else. It's just to be able to highlight those kids who may never be highlighted before or ever again, or, you know, you've always done a good job with it.
Alan V. Davis Law Firm, abdlaw.com. Goshen Amadei, attorneys at law. Don't delay. Call Goshen Amadei, don'tdelay.com. 225-647-1700 Gonzalez. They are the best lawyers in the state.
Supreme.
Dream Big Elite Basketball. Dream Big 100 mentoring kids every day. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this one person name that
I'm going to move out before you say it.
but thank you for your donation and your sponsorship, sir. I don't know, I'm gonna have to get permission to say your name. Two people I'm gonna have to get permission. I wanna bring my girl over here, man. Real quick, man. Come on, real quick, man. This wouldn't be possible without her. You guys come here, man. Right now, they have boiled food that smells really good. I can't afford it, but it smells really good. Hey, come back here. She's trying to run. Hey, but Tip House, man. Tip House Sports Bar and Grill. I'm gonna give her a second, man. Again, 2972 Florida Boulevard, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, man. The environment and ambiance in here is great. They have TVs, pool. They have all kinds of food in here. So, hey, you guys see what it is now, man. We're trying to bring a really great product to you guys, and we're gonna have guests. Hey, coming soon next week. I think we're gonna have student athletes here joining us. That's the goal, to give kids exposure. Hey, I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for all that you do. We're waiting on Miss Bobby to come, and we're gonna get out of here, man. Thank all the member schools that allow me to come into their schools and hang out with their kids, their coaches. And that's what it is. Come on, Miss Bobby. We gotta end this broadcast. Hey, look, y'all. Hey, you guys. This is Miss Bobby LeBlanc. She is the owner of Tip Off Sports Bar, Grill, and Daiquiri. She is also the proud mother of Josh LeBlanc, who you guys will get to see running up and down the court on in a Hoyas uniform. So if you're a Big East guy, hey, she wants you to root for Georgetown. You see the flag. Thank you for hosting us every week. This is just the first week of many. You guys come to 2972 Florida Boulevard. Thank you. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.